Hi, my name is Meghan Moriarty, and I'm running for school committee. Today, I filed my nomination papers. So I've actually always wanted to run for school committee since moving to Belmont. It's one of the reasons why I immediately ran for PTA president. I wanted to get the experience of understanding a little bit better about how the schools in Belmont work. And I wanted to get to know people in the community, including some of the leaders of the schools. It's also why I ran for town meeting immediately, because I wanted to get to know how other departments in the town operate and what some of the barriers or challenges are for Belmont as a community. Sure. So, well, my background is in education. I've been a teacher. I was a classroom teacher for 5 years, and now I teach graduate students at MIT. But in addition to just teaching in the classroom, I've also had the opportunity to manage educational programs and partnerships for the Museum of Science in Boston. So therefore working with many different stakeholders in an educational environment. And I also own my own business, which is a research and evaluation business in education. So I do think that it is critically important for school committee members to have a background in education. But on top of that, I think my community engagement and involvement is also something that can set me apart. And finally, I think the other thing is I don't shy away from difficult conversations and asking hard questions. I think that's something that hasn't been happening enough on the school committee in the meetings that I've watched. For instance, last night when the budget was presented, there was a lot of focus again on the per pupil expenditure, and we were shown a lot of data. We were compared to other towns like ourselves, and the superintendent said that if one of the things that he would like to do would be to hire more full-time educators, both generalists, but also a big push for more special ed and guidance. So on one of the slides, one thing that I really noticed is that he was presenting that we're in the bottom of expenditure on many different variables. But if you actually looked at our expenditure on administrators and maintenance and organization and upkeep of the schools, those were far above what we're actually spending right now on special ed, guidance, and full-time educators. So I guess one question I have is, why aren't those more equitable across the board? Why are we spending so much more on administration and maintenance of our schools when actually what we really need are more full-time teachers and special educators? So these are just some hard questions that I think we need to ask. And when we're shown data, you really need to look at the nuances of the data and ask what story that's telling. And I think that's something I could bring to the table. So a vote for me would mean voting for somebody who's really committed and will put in the time to engage with other departments in the town, engage with community members, and engage with our district leaders to ensure that our schools and that the budget support the most effective education that we want for all of our students.